If you look at history and statistics, it's likely that America will be involved in a devastating war during the time of our priesthood. And will you be spiritually prepared to shepherd your flock during that time, when nation rises against nation and kingdom against kingdom? Even if it's not the very end of the world, like in our gospel, which Christ urges us to be ready for as well, how do we train ourselves for the great spiritual battles which are sure to come when the world is being overturned? Just like Daniel prophesies with the 4 parts of the statue about the overturning of kingdoms from Babylon to Persia to Greece and the Roman Empire. Yesterday we heard about how at great risk Daniel and his friends kept to their Jewish dietary laws while captive in Babylon. And through Daniel's discipline in both fasting and prayer, he was given these visions in today's reading and was able to see the kingdom that shall never be destroyed. And through multiple times in his life while in captivity, he was able to influence the whole society of Babylon to turn to the one true God. And he prepared himself through fasting. To be prepared for the battles to come, in a perhaps unexpected way this week, looking toward Thanksgiving Day, I want to repropose the way Daniel took, the regular practice of fasting and self-control in food. Fasting not just in Lent, but throughout the year. If we cannot have the self-control to regularly deny ourselves food, how can we be ready for the spiritual battles of priestly life? In college, I had a summer internship in San Francisco, and the ecclesial community I was a part of served the poorest of the poor. And I found out that the whole staff that summer all fasted together for 4 days. No food, only water. Can you imagine a parish staff fasting and praying together like that? And why not? Now, the average person can survive for 3 to 4 weeks without food, but our decadent culture would recoil at the idea of going a few days without food. But it's not as radical or impossible as it sounds. I found out, too, that the years before that, the pastor there, when he found out that a strip club was opening right near their school building, he went on a hunger strike by the city hall to get the city to change this. And he didn't eat any food for 33 days. And his strike led to the neighborhood being transformed. If Jesus fasted for 40 days straight before beginning his public ministry, how much are we fasting before beginning our public ministry? And do you think that was the first or only time that Jesus fasted? The Didache says that in the early church, Christians would fast every Wednesday and Friday during the whole year. Have you ever looked up how the Byzantine Catholics or the Orthodox Christians fast throughout the year according to ancient practices? Or even how over 1 billion Muslims fast for Ramadan for 30 days per year with no food or water during daylight hours? If millions and billions of people fast way more than Catholic Christians, even seminarians, what does that say about the sacrifices we're willing to make? As celibate men consecrated to the Lord, we should generally be fasting more than the minimum expected for the laity, somewhere between that and how the Carmelites, Carthusians, or religious orders fast. And now with fasting, a few quick points. 1, only change your fasting practices very gradually, like painfully gradually. Don't get all ambitious and do some big sudden change, but slow and gradual. 2, always discuss it with your spiritual director, and perhaps with your doctor if you have some medical conditions. And do this before you begin. 3, don't make your fasting a penance for everybody else. For example, if someone in the parish is offering you food while you're at their home, simply eat what's set before you. Charity will guide you. 4, don't let your fasting be a source of pride or superiority, but let it increase your humility. And 5, make sure it's a spiritual practice. Don't just fast to lose weight or save time, but use that time to pray or do spiritual reading. And you can also use the money you save to give alms to the poor. So, if our church and society are in a crisis already, why do we not fast in reparation frequently? Is not our country similar in some ways to Babylon, supposedly dominating the world, and yet multiplying atrocities like abortion and casually promoting numerous mortal sins? Maybe we can fast in a special way this Black Friday in reparation for the idols of consumerism in our society. And this upcoming Advent and the rest of your lives, I urge you to increase your longing for Christ through the hunger of fasting from food. Research some of the ancient practices of the church and talk about it with your spiritual director. And then your feasting, like during Christmas and Easter, will become so much more glorious and joyful when healthy feasting is prepared through healthy fasting. If we can't build self-control with food, who will give us true spiritual riches, which require much greater self-control? So make yourself hungry for what is highest, and the Lord will fill the hungry with good things, and the rich and the full he will send away empty.